Just 23 minutes past the hour of 12 o'clock. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
But this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now
this is the Street Council, and we are in session.
Discipline.
Your Speaker of the House, Anderson. I'm here with you all. Waiting the arrival of my co-host Hashim. I know that he's on his way.
I say that is the main form.
Today being the 30th of June 2025.
Because this is our land.
Just the last day of June. As we get ready to enter a new month. You know, we thank God for life, being able to see another day. I thank God for giving me the health and strength to be with you guys here today in the council. I hope that each and every one of you guys have a great and a productive week ahead of you.
Remember,
no matter what obstacles you may encounter this week,
for our country we must.
I trust in the Almighty that He's going to guide you guys
forget all your
over those hurdles
we start to build.
As we continue this journey we call life.
We will. Because now more than ever we must.
To all our listeners, our members that are having lunch today. Or having lunch, I should say now. Hope that you guys enjoy your lunch.
I say that is the main.
I'll tell you something about that Sunday lunch rollover into Monday.
Because this is our land.
You know, as it is say, pale outers taste better the day after. That's when all the seasoning and everything marinates. Gotta send some love going out to all our members that are around the world.
So much of things that we need.
Making it your business to tune in to the council each and every day during the week from 12 p.m. straight to 4 p.m.
It's putting more effort and less play. Because now more than ever we must show discipline, tolerance and production to build a strong and better.
And as usual, you know, a lot has happened over the weekend.
Is the main foundation. So come let's
just again
hand in hand.
Too much to tell Jesus, you know.
My sister, and let us build a nation together.
Engine room, just check the cameras for me, please. Page in the engine room. Good afternoon, going out to the engine room as well. Behind the scene, working hard. Also, good afternoon going out to the entire team right here on the Street 919 FM. The management team as well.
This also
shout out to Michelle. Working hard, you know.
Who going to live
getting those things done. Making sure the coins keep coining.
Always the time home and do something instead of staying out there.
Also, a shout out to Tin Man.
Because now more than ever we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation.
And good afternoon again, Hashim. Welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
I haven't seen you for a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been a little while.
Yeah. It seemed like you had a good weekend.
Sort of. Yeah.
How was the event that you went to?
It was eventful, as an event should be.
Right.
You know, big shout outs to the entire Dream Island team. Thanks very much for having me. It was certainly a time I certainly had.
What was the name of the event again?
Release.
Release. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. 'Cause I saw a couple events happen over this weekend, and I also saw well, for you guys that are our carnival babies, you can't miss being on the road. I know that there was the band launch of IWER
Yeah.
that happened over the weekend there at
Heard it was very well attended, and
yeah, I'm close to Hyatt there.
looks like the costumes are costuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that should definitely be something to look
Any
forward
additional thread or less thread?
to. Additional thread, I cannot confirm or deny that.
So the
Because-
ones that I saw,
I mean, I am actually looking at a few of them right now. The front lines certainly seem to have a lot of feathers.
right.
Some flesh, as a late great elder of mine was fond of coining, feathers and flesh. Yeah.
They don't have
They're
enough
very-
cloths.
a lot of beads, shiny accoutrement, cloth. I can't speak for cloth. I can speak for feathers, and I can speak for beads and other shiny accessories. I can't speak for the cloth,
Any of the costume refers to Nessa Preppy contribution for this year.
which was what, feel it?
Yeah, if it's so it's so huge that it is everything being covered.
I don't think it quite fits. I don't think covered would be the proper description of the costumes. But they are colorful. They are most certainly vibrant.
Right.
Very exciting sections. For those of you enthralled in the carnival, colors ranging from gold
Hold on a
to
minute. Hold on 1 minute. Shima, I just want to say something.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that had to be said.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
back to our program.
Right. Right. So as I am seeing here, yeah, lots of vibrant colors, bright blues, golds, and rainbowed feathers. There's a solid white section from the looks of it.
Right.
And all in various arrangements and patterns of coverings. Whether cloth is involved, I cannot tell you. Whether concealment is a thing, I cannot tell you. I think that is open to interpretation. As I will leave that to those of you with your own eyes to see. I will not assume to interpret for the council here. But you can go on to IWERvibe.com or to IWERvibe on social media if you want to get a taste of what these sections will look like for Carnival in 2026. Now, I do know that a lot of people are very impassioned these days about of how revealing a lot of carnival costumes have become. They say that the culture and the art is no longer visible in these bands. And I want to play the devil's advocate here and say that there are still mass bands that subscribe to the art and culture first,
Right.
and that they are out there just because that they may seem to be in the minority of the more flashier, mainstream, quote-unquote relevant carnival bands does not mean that the culture is not there.
No, it is there.
It's certainly there. It's certainly there if you find it.
Some would say that you have to look at it as an upgrade,
Yes.
because back then when they now introduced cell phones, how huge were cell phones? They had cell phones that was huge with big antenna that
Yeah.
you had to pull out.
Suitcases and backpack
we didn't even
straps
have
and-
we didn't have SIM
Yeah.
card. We had was it TDM or something like that.
I will not lie to you.
I
The
can't-
first real cell phones were before my time, so I can't tell you everything that they used to carry.
Right.
But I know there was a whole suitcase with them.
It wasn't a
you know?
SIM card.
Right.
You know, it was like you have a phone and you
It's
can't
like a
change
box.
the number.
It's like bigger than this microphone.
Right.
Yeah.
And things upgraded. And now,
Right.
you know, look what we have. So the costume started, you know, one way.
In one way.
And it's upgraded now, right?
so you're calling the less fabric is an upgrade.
It could be upgraded.
Okay, all right. That's one way. That is one way to look at it.
You know, the ladies and them just, you know, they find, you know, other ways to be able to get their message out there, you know.
I see.
You know,
I see.
And I will leave it to that.
All right, not a problem. Not a problem.
Let me say good afternoon again, going out to all our loyal listeners.
This is the check-in hour, by the way, guys. So you guys can call in, check in. If you happen to see the Humor Band Launch, you could also comment on that. I'm not sure how many of you would have. But yeah, or if you just have any thoughts of what carnival costumes are like in this modern age, you can also share your thoughts and opinions on that.
Correct.
I'm sure some of you all you do. But let us give you the instructions just as a reminder.
Members, we invite you to be a part of the conversation. Please be mindful and remember our house rules. Be respectful. Keep your contribution under 3 minutes. This house is open to everyone.
Joining the Street 919 FM family for the first time? We're so glad to have you. Call us at 466-5391 and tell us where you're calling from. Let's connect with our community. On the Street 919 FM, the #1 election station.
Looks like Tribe's band launch is this Saturday coming.
Right.
So there's that to look forward to, and
so Carnival is in the air
already.
2026, and you know the band launches starts early because obviously they want to make sure and give you guys enough time to choose the section, choose your costumes,
to get your money in order for the costumes.
I was going to say that too. I'm sure that some of these band launch, and if they haven't, they should. But I think that these band launch should probably, I mean, I'm laughing, but I think that these band launch and them should at least have those different banks, loan officers. Because a lot of persons, I'm laughing, no, but Hashim, a lot of persons take loans.
You're right, you're sure right.
Huge loans to play Carnival. So I think that
I wonder if that is a thing.
I don't really want to call out any institutions.
Are there such things as carnival loans?
Of course,
right.
So the island fine and those kind of people, right?
We can't sing the jingle. That's free advertisement. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, and the Scotias and the FCs and them, they should be at these band launch so that persons could see if they pre-qualify.
I think so too. To be quite honest with you, I don't want to say that they're not, because sometimes you see these banks usually go to all kinds of forums and seminars.
I want to see a booth.
You want to see a booth? I
want to see a booth.
So like how the how Carib would have their cart girls and things.
Correct. I want to see an entire booth, and I want to see people line up and everybody organizing their business one time. It's just how Carnival is, So some of the things that I saw in that happened over the weekend, besides we party and still, I think Friday there was some information that came out where we were informed that over or close to about 11,000 CPEP workers would have been their contracts would have been terminated. And it has been making its way around the media, and the opposition, they have tried to reach out to these CPEP workers, telling them that they will give them free legal advice and blah blah blah. But I think part of this entire thing with the CPEP workers is that this is not something new though. Like
doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, every time there's a new government, there would obviously be change in management and so forth. I think that probably this is a real flush in the aspect of how many people have been literally terminated. But I believe in the coming days or weeks, once the dust is settled and obviously the new management is there, then I believe that most of them should be or would be rehired because I mean, it's just a timing to it. It's unfortunate because
Yeah.
a lot of those persons who are doing this are single parents, and they're probably looking to organize to get their kids books and uniforms for the new term. You know, some people try to put or account or try to put aside the monies from early, you know, because as much as it's July and August vacation, the time flies so much so fast, and plus besides you buying your child's uniform and books and taking care of your responsibility, you have other responsibilities besides that.
Exactly.
Utilities, you may have rent, you may also have to buy additional grocery because once your kid is home, your child is home.
Listen, this is the week the kids come home, not so?
Correct.
If they're not home already.
Yeah.
Because the summer has basically begun.
Normally school will close on somewhere around the 5th of July, somewhere around there, and I guess it will go on until September.
Yeah.
So some kids are they're still going to school right now, but so school will close the first week of July, I should say.
So this week, this is the week. So
yeah.
I mean, on the plus side, traffic I think will ease up for a couple of weeks. I think everybody does look forward to that at the very least. Summer is a nice time for driving.
Of course.
Driving safely.
Of course.
Of
course.
On the downside, your fridge will be significantly lighter.
So I mean, you guys could at least, you know, call and be a part of the conversation, check in, let's know exactly what's on your mind, what happened over the weekend. But yeah, back to the CPEP, I think that we just have to give this new administration some time. Obviously there would be a lot of changes. Some of it we may not be happy, but give it some time.
What I just want to know is that at least are there any compensations for those workers that have been released?
I don't think it would have compensation. Let me take this one.
Yeah,
Hi, good afternoon, member.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the listenership.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Well, over the weekend, I get to realize what's going on with many people in this country. When I listen to some people try to defend what was never earned by Stuart Young, and it doesn't matter who would have been in that unfortunate position, but it was not earned. And more than what the government is attempting, I think they need to add the word political in front of the word party in the Constitution, the section that Dr. Rowley chose to willfully abuse to put us in this position that we are in now. Because more than just the pension, it is the entire act. The entire act surrounding everything is what is challenging and difficult for a right-thinking person to accept. We have a set line out on how we get at achieving somebody to be prime minister in this country. And Dr. Rowley chose to use a different process, manipulating the Constitution that leaves us in this position. And to all the people who don't see a reason with what is wrong with that, the funny thing about it, if it is the now government chooses to abuse this position, right, every single MP could be holding the prime ministership for 5 seconds, 5 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and be entitled to a pension for the rest of their life. For doing what? When other persons have to give 10 years minimum or 33 and a third years minimum to get a portion of what they was earning. And this is the same government who wanted to deprive you of a pension if you had $25,000 in your account, and yet still so many people are opening their mouth and making it so clear to see how much or how little is in their heart and in their head. I am so disappointed by every single person who chooses not to see what is the issue with this. This is not about Stuart Young. This is about what Dr. Rowley did to put us in this position. Unfortunately, Stuart had to be the person, but he too should know that what is now is not deserving. He is not deserving of it. No, boy, I don't know what else to say. You know? I don't know what else to say, but it is troubling to see that simple adults can understand that cannot understand that even the chapter all was offering the whole nation trying to force it on us. It was rejected by all your own party. You might never even get to be a prime minister ever again because you might never lead a party. You didn't lead any party when Dr. Rowley handed the leadership of the nation to you. And the Constitution clearly states the leader of the party. Is it that they have to slip in the word political in front of party for us to understand? I don't know now, boy. I really don't know what to say. Because some people retiring and waiting a year, 2 years before the pension could kick in. But here we have people arguing on why a man who was never elected to be a prime minister was just handed it over while Dr. Rowley was leading from the background for a while before the call for him to have a election to give up the leadership of the PNM. So would it be okay, all the people who are supporting that action now, would it be okay for Mr. Sadbi Sessa to do the same thing and abuse it even more, leaving us with double digits, about 10, 15, 19, 20 MPs to have to pay a lifetime pension to of that amount? Is that fair to people in Trinidad and Tobago who have to go out every day and earn the keep? Gentlemen, I love to listen, but I'm really disappointed, you know. And then we just want to expect better from the children. We need to think. I love to buddy.
All right, thank you so much, member, for your contribution. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
yes. Mr. Lakata.
Anderson, DJ, and Hashim, the Dream. Right? The symbiotic twins. Or the Siamese twins. Hashim, your voice sounds much improved today.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely improved over the weekend.
All right. Quick, let me mention, because I might want to let 2 minutes or a little more.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
On pension, City Corporation. Today's pension, when I get my pension, right? And a pattern has been developed this last month that pensioners gain late from the corporation. So I want somebody who hearing to do something about that situation for me. All right. My main topic today is CPAP. Right? CPAP now was introduced in Australia, in Tasmania. Tasmania is an island state in Australia. Now, CPAP was conceived as CDEP. It was conceived as CDEP, CEDEP. And somehow it was transplanted here in CPAP. Right? It was because of the Aborigines in Australia who are the indigenous people.
Mr. Lakata, we seem to be having the same issue again. You're coming and going. I don't know if you call the other line, because apparently every time you call this line, I don't know what seems to be happening.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, you're coming and going, and I want to make sure that all our listeners could get exactly what you're saying.
Started okay. I'm not sure what happened there.
Based on what Chris said, I understand Chris is very emotional, very passionate today about that. And I definitely would want to probably let me take this one before I comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Laukita. On the next line now.
Right.
I was stating that the CPAP concept that was transplanted here under Mr. Manning. It was conceived in Australia under a Prime Minister called Kevin Rudd in 2007, and it was an attempt by the Prime Minister of Australia at the time to deal with the untidy environment that existed in Tasmania. Tasmania is an island state of Australia, right? And the Aborigines, who were the indigenous people, they were complaining how the environment was very, very untidy and unkempt, because Tasmania has it is said, the cleanest air in the world, right?
And the purpose of the CDEP in Australia, what we call CPEP here, was to deal with the environment, clean up bushes, clean up shrubs, and have the place looking tidy. The Aborigines complained and Mr. Rudd after he won the election in 2007 and found the conditions unkempt. So he came up with this great idea of CDEP, with Mr. Manning transplanted to Trinidad, and he called it CPEP. Right? Now, on CPEP, as far as I learn or understand, I don't know if Mr. Rudd had contract. Apparently, there was no contract CDEP in Australia. Mr. Manning seized the opportunity and added a contract element into it. Right? But the thing is, the contractors in Trinidad, the CPEP contractors, I believe they are political appointees. Right? And if you are political appointee under the Westminster system, which they say the winner, whoever wins the government wins all, they call it the winner takes all system. Right? You just have to understand that a new party, right? And the party now, the incoming party now could adjust or even change around the whole system, because it's not only now in '86 when they now won the election, they changed from dude, which was a same Meko system, and they formed the lid, right? When Mr. Manning won the election in 91, he changed lid to URP, right? So it's a thing that always happened. I was a victim in '86, right? When I worked as a temporary supervisor in Judah, I was a checker force and then a foreman, and then I had to go home, and I stayed home 2 years without working. My mom had to bring a bag for me with food, from bread, as a big man, 23 years, from bread to onions in it, right? So people have to understand that once you have political affinity, you have to expect these kind of things, and it's not the first time happening. Based on the system, the political system that we follow and which we inherit. So people must know that one set of person can be enjoying everything, and the next set of people are enjoying nothing, right? Besides my pension, I haven't won 1 cent in 8 years. Imagine, and I carry letters behind my name, and I'm sure there are hundreds like me existing right now, right? So that is how it is. I mean, Grenada now, the Grenada government came up with the same system, but they didn't call it CPEP, and I don't think they have contract. They call it the debushing, which is DEBUSHING, which I mean, you're taking off bush and you're plowing bush. They call it the debushing system, and the workers there are called the debushing brigades. They call them brigade, not gangs, as how we say gangs here, right? So Grenada and all came on a smaller scale, clean up the environment under the same CPEP program, right? So what I believe the state should do is to change around the whole concept, change around the name, and employ the people directly under some ministry, and to stop the contract system, because always have that with the contract system, right? So that is why I have to say about this thing, but there's a history in everything, and people must understand that the system we operate in is the winner takes all. You could jump high, you could jump low, the winner takes all under the Westminster system.
All right, well, thank you so much for your contribution, member.
Okay, well, you will take care.
Nice.
All right.
All rise. All rise. The Street Council is in session on the Street 919 FM.
So I want to say good afternoon going out to all our members locked on via YouTube and our website www.thestreet919fm.com. Good afternoon going out to you guys.
Just Soja, good afternoon. Alistair, big up yourself. Oh Lord, somebody said they're not costumes in Carnival, it's just nakedness now. It's not good because the children be watching.
True. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon again. My little 2 cents on this CPEP matter is the government still has a grace period where I am concerned, and one key factor to note, right? The government said that it is over 6 years that CPEP is outstanding in fulfilling its responsibility if it's to get some financials audited or submitted or whatever. So people can say whatever they feel like. When your business is in order and your books is in order, then start to complain. Don't complain when things are in a mess. And it should have been probably done long before, under the previous government. But people get so accustomed to the wrong things going unaccounted for or uninterrupted, right? That when something has to be done, it has to be drastic, and many persons are affected suddenly. But nonetheless, as far as I'm concerned, the government is still entitled to a grace period. But at this time, what is not entitled is that pension that all the opposition members should start saying and give reasons why the government, it appears that as they are attacking Stewart. Not at all. What we are attacking is the manner in which Dr. Rowley would have operated.
Anyways, let's go and pay those bills, and then after we're going to come back with more. You guys keep it locked to the street. 919 FM.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You want to find something great to do with your Tuesday nights? You want to learn and understand the true reason for Jesus? Then join us every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. for the program, This Same Jesus. This Same Jesus, the program that puts Jesus in his rightful place in our hearts and in our homes. Let's bring church home to you. Join us every Tuesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. with your hosts, Kempes and Kevin. Be inspired, be blessed right here on the Street 91.9 FM.
Falling in love with Jesus.
Planning your Tobago getaway? Choose the highest Google-rated car rental company on the island, O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago. Located just minutes from the A&R Robinson International Airport, at O'Neill, we pride ourselves on being the most tech-savvy car rental company in Tobago. Our process is 100% digital. No paperwork, no long lines. From easy pickup to seamless returns, renting a car in Tobago has never been simpler. WhatsApp us now at 1-868-361-1042 to book your vehicle. Don't forget to mention promo code RADIO2 to receive a 5% discount on your rental. Send a WhatsApp message to 1-868-361-1042 today. That's 1-868-361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago, the easiest, most reliable car rental experience on the island.
Vehicle availability is subject to change. Driver must be at least 25 years old and have a valid driver's license to book. For more information, visit www.rentalcartobago.com.
Men, women, tired of the invasive, painful old methods of testing prostate and breasts?
The Institute of Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Center offers comprehensive and non-invasive diagnostic testing, which indicates the nature and extent of diseases and tests your nutritional levels. Our quick testing can identify early signs of problems by evaluating many of the bodily functions, such as male and female sexual function, gastrointestinal function, liver function, kidney function, thyroid function, heart and brain function, and also cancer testing. Results are comparable with other medical lab tests without the use of needles or embarrassing specimen cups, and is pain-free. We also offer all natural treatments. Visit us now at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna, or call 492-7397 or 289-6363.
Ikaro, I am Alatumishe Ifabamishe Aganki, better known as MC Duke.
And every Monday between the hours of 9 p.m. to midnight,
I host a show called Orisha, The Way of Life, right here on the Sheet 919 FM, where I have guests passing through from the Orisha Ifa Baptist Diaspora to educate, edify, and inform you, the listening public, about Orisha Ifa practices. So remember to tune in
every Monday between the hours of 9 p.m. to midnight
for Orisha, The Way of Life.
Are you tired of scratching the surface? Do you want to understand the real forces shaping Trinidad and Tobago? From the delicate dance of our energy sector on the global stage, to the geopolitical shadows behind the crime affecting our streets, we dig deeper. The third umpire goes beyond the headlines. We connect the dots between local challenges and the international currents that truly impact your life, your wallet, your security, Join Stephen Matheson, Selvin Mitchell, and Ronaldo Rollux, 3 employment law and human resource management consulting professionals, as they unpack the complexities, analyze the power plays, and reveal the often hidden realities. Understand the game. Understand your role in it. The Third Umpire, critically analyzing Trinidad and Tobago's economic and political realities on how they affect your daily lives. Tune in Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. on The Street 919 FM. Don't just listen to the news. Understand it.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on The Street 919 FM radio. Here my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Alloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Welcome to Pizza Hut.
Hi, can I get a medium pepper?
Here you go.
Oh, wow. How did you...
It's Pizza Hut's Hot to Go. So you get taste, quality, and speed all in one go.
And I can get
one medium hot to go for $89 or 2 medium hot to go for $169 in pepperoni, Hawaiian, and veg, Monday to Friday.
Can you get
your girlfriend to forgive you as fast as our hot to go pizza? No, sir.
Come in and try our hot to go specials today at locations nationwide. Pizza Hut. Now that's delivering.
Whoever said messy was a bad thing totally missed the point. Take that hit song everyone loves now. It probably started like this. Baby, calm down. That's why KFC is celebrating the messy moments with our Messy Cruncher and Messy Zinger sandwiches for only $34.95. Imagine a crunchy, golden brown, flavorful chicken sandwich sauced to perfection with our signature sweet, spicy, tangy sauces. Oh boy. So crunch into the deliciously messy moments today. Check socials for details. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
All rise, all rise. The Street Council is now in session on the Street 919 FM. Your speakers of the House, Anderson and Hashim. Members, we invite you to be a part of the conversation. Please be mindful and remember our house rules. Be respectful. Keep your contribution under 3 minutes. This house is open to everyone.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Get interactive with us. Call now and be part of the show. Don't miss out. Dial 466-5391 or 342-0081 and join the conversation today. The Street 919 FM, where your opinion matters.
Now Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget spites and...
So good afternoon once again to each and every one of you. Good afternoon, members. All our members via YouTube as well. Good afternoon. This is the Street Council with your speakers, Anderson and Hashim. And we're taking you guys straight to 4 p.m. today.
A strong and better nation.
So just before our break, we were discussing some of the things that happened over the weekend with the information that came out that almost 11,000 CPAP workers were literally on the breadline. And as we mentioned, it is not something new. During the change of administration, they would normally obviously dismiss certain individuals because, let's be real, it's politically affiliated as well. But as I said, give it time, wait until the dust settle a bit, and I'm sure that once the new administration hires their people, they are going to rehire most of those CPAP workers. It is just that it's on unfortunate timing for this to happen because obviously these persons who are working within the CPAP are also parents, providers, single parents to be exact. And we all know that CPAP don't pay no certain money, right? It's not a big salary. I mean, probably the persons above probably does earn, I'm not sure, right? But I know that persons who literally picking up the worker and holding
who are out there in the field.
Who actually physically doing the work. The money is not no huge amount of money,
Which to me I feel.
But they do try their best to make it work. So with that happening, the opposition has just a little before, I believe, introduced a hotline because there was alleged
just before this firing.
Yeah, it was alleged that there was a lot of termination that was going to happen, and they said, if it is that you are terminated, to call the hotline and so forth. And it's so funny. But before I even give the explanation, listen to this video. Listen to this.
You give them 1 month contract and 2 month contract, and then trying to create a false kind of narrative that UNC going to fire people. You put the people up a monkey tree, and you are fooling the population or trying to fool the population, and nobody is buying your desperation. Nobody. All of a sudden, they have hotline. When they were in government, nothing was working. I WhatsApp the hotline. The hotline not working, Mr. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and I say that, No, it's WhatsApp. So, Mr. Chairman, certainly there is a need now for the UNC to clean up the PNM's mess. That is our first mandate.
All rise. All rise. The Street Council is in session on the Street 919 FM.
So yeah.
So while you were running the clip, I actually went and found the number.
Right.
And I was calling it while the clip was on. I went straight to voicemail.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, it rang. To be fair, it rang 4 times and then went to voicemail.
So yeah, the irony about it. Yeah, the irony about it. Normally, if it is that you're having issues at work and you believe that you were wrongfully dismissed or terminated, they would normally tell you that you have to go through the correct channels.
Yeah.
Which is your union. And then your union to probably, if it is that you want your attorney,
like that. Yeah.
You know, if you want to have a personal attorney, and then to the industrial court, and you name it. But what performance, boy? All of a sudden now, there's something called a hotline that you could directly contact politicians to get assistance.
I find it as ladies are wont to do when arguing with their partners. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny that
what
there's a hotline now. So I can call up
well, it just looked like it's a line because you said you call.
I call.
And you didn't get through.
Yeah. So it rang 4 times and
that isn't a, well, it probably not a 24 hours hotline. Probably it's like a half-day hotline or something.
Okay, so but we in the middle of the day now. So what you're saying is they like licensing, they close at 2. It's not even 2 o'clock yet.
Sure, I don't know if it's Mr. Brian Manning who answered in the direct. I don't know if it's Faris Alwari. I'm not too sure. So probably they're busy.
I myself not too sure, but they don't even have a personalized voice message system. It just went, you have reached the voicemail box.
So it's not even saying this is the political.
Nah.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
The People's National Movement.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Wow.
No.
Interesting. Very interesting. I just find it very funny.
Yeah.
That all the time we didn't have something like this, and automatically all of a sudden now. Why it has to take you? Why it has to take you to reach opposition?
And is it that this number came into place after elections or before?
After elections.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Granny called to say this. Where was Penelope Becker and the PNM when Rowley stopped the GATE program and there were thousands of doctors had to do KDA and hadn't the money. They had
Mom, sorry, excuse me. Just turn down your radio a little bit because you're echoing a lot.
Oh, right. Okay, right, yeah. There was Tuna by Charan, Crown by Rakan, there was San Fernando. They was all over the place by business people begging, my grandson was in it too, begging people to see if they can help them 30, 40, and 50. Medical students, parents, suck salt, drink coffee, and send the children to school from 3 years to 2nd year. Where was PNM? Where was Penelope Becker? Where was the hotline? And they own the bank and they own private too, which was worse than CPAP workers. And they had to make it here. When they're working right now, the health system is in a mess. They're trying to clean up that, and doctors cannot get contract signed. What are they? What anyway, they have to clean up the PNM mess before people can get work. Doctors own the bank and they own private, and they cannot get the contract signed back because the mess have to clean up. Internship from one's home. They don't know when they will get it. Where is Beckers? Where was all of them? But the doctors and them know the mess have to clean up. What a mess. Mess worse than diarrhea. So they have hotline for that. They had hotline for the doctors. They didn't have that when he stopped the GATE program. All in Tuna, I meet them crying. My grandson was in that. And we poor people house leaking. That is what we and that PNM government do. The doctors that year. So what I'm talking now, then you have a son to give a party. I go on, thank you, boys.
All right, thank you, moms.
So yeah, so we create a hotline right after the election for persons who may believe that they were incorrectly terminated to call for assistance.
And here's my question: what exactly can you do about it at this point?
Well, it's free legal services.
Free legal?
Yeah.
So the opposition is trying to provide free legal service?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have the time now.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
You just only have time when you're in opposition. Apparently.
Wow.
You know,
okay.
I think, honestly, that they should have done better.
Of course they should have.
They should have done better. Shouldn't have to wait until now when you're in opposition to want to show the people that you're so care. You know, and as much as, you know, I have to say also, I have to say congratulations going out to Miss Penny. Over the weekend too was the PNM convention, and she's now officially the political leader of the PNM. Now, as much as a lot of persons are saying, a lot of persons are saying, you know, you was there and, you know, you wasn't seeing anything or whatever, you know, I think that we need to be fair in the aspect of this is a different role for her. You know, the role that she was playing before is obviously a different role. And
she may not have been in a position to do as much work.
And as much as she may have had an opinion on certain things, there's just time and place. And I think as a party, she probably didn't come out and say, well, Mr. Rowley, you know, I don't like how you're doing this or I don't like how you're doing that. You know, she may have had that conversation in closed doors that we may not know about. So give her the benefit of the doubt.
And that's the thing. That's the thing when it comes to public perception, right? People want to see, like, actions speak louder than words. If PNM was doing something that was less than favorable and desirable, I think people wanted to see people in their own party say, hey, Mr. Prime Minister, that is not right. You had to do better than that. And I think that is what people really that's their main problem with the opposition at this point. That things that were going wrong while they were in power, members in that party did not speak up openly against it. And now that they are on the opposite side of the aisle, it seems half-hearted that you're now trying to implement certain things to fix what you've already screwed up.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm just not here with you with giving her the benefit of the doubt, but I had to put dream to the head of the class. Because you must understand what it means to lead by example, and just come in and say to your supporters or to the nation that the PNM would have lost their way. It seems like all you still lost when you cannot vote along with the government to stop Mr. Young from getting this undeserved pension. All of you choose to abstain and give all kind of reasons and call all kind of places all over the world to justify. Imagine Mr. Imbo talking about if somebody is in the position for 5 seconds, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. And it matters extremely because of the narrative that when you all were in government that you were given to the nation as it relates to finances of the nation and people who were working for their money and what they're entitled to and what they're not entitled to. This thing, I tell you, it really showing the true character of persons and what is really important to them, you know. Because if you feel that is all, just saying that you lost your way and not showing that you're willing to find back your way, that they will get in a better position, I just are abstaining. Boy, they have a next thing coming. They have a next thing coming because just as Dr. Rowley would have came out against Mr. Patrick Manning, right? They were supposed to do the same thing and come out against him because he never laid the SRC report in Parliament. He said it was good work and it was some note taken to the cabinet that the decision was approved on. And in like manner, right, he chose not to let PNM have an internal election so that it will have a new leader in the party who could have been handed the prime ministership like how he handed it to Stewart, because nothing was wrong with Dr. Rowley. If he chose to leave the political atmosphere and choose to do so in a kind of way where you still wanted to lead the PNM while you hand over the prime ministership. I don't know what else people need to understand about that to know that it was totally wrong and unacceptable. And now we are in a position where persons' characters will be tested. Because it's a simple thing, you know, it is a simple matter. It is at all how they try to twist it and spin it and compare it to other countries. No other country have done it the way Dr. Rowley did it. If there was a need to install a prime minister, we understand that. But if you choosing to step down in a manner that is in line with the Constitution, not in a manner to try to find a loophole in the Constitution where we will have to be paying Dr. Rowley this $87,000 a month, along with the person who he appointed and selected, another $87,000 a month. All because why? If he chose to call the election when he called it, right? He could have carried out the rest of work that he thinks was supposed to be established, like give the diverse family and them the money that's what they promised. None of that was done. You accepted what Dr. Rowley offered you. What sweet and goat mouth is sour in the... I locked one, fella.
All right, yeah, thanks.
Thanks for the personal censorship of that last one.
I almost thought I had to play the disclaimer there for Chris.
Yeah. No. He holds his composure. This is not Parliament. We know how to speak properly to each other here.
So you know, I just think that, you know, persons still have to give Ms. Beckles, you know, give her that opportunity to lead from in front, and I hope that, you know, by giving her that opportunity, that she can obviously bring something new to the PNM and also to our political climate.
Yeah, my judgment is still out on both leaders at the moment, because this new administration, we're not even a full quarter of the year into it. Right. Everyone is still finding their footing, adjusting to this new norm, and while the public is ready to see action and ready for, you know, condemnation of the slightest things, not without just cause and reason, jury is still out on everybody, particularly those in these new leadership positions, which includes the leader of the opposition. So we shall see how things go. As for this hotline, again, a lot of saving face too late. You know, I think really people are saying that, you know, PNM has lost their way. They lost sight of what's important to the people and all that kind of things.
The opposition leader said it too, eh?
Yeah, but all these what are seen as half-hearted attempts to care about the people's issues are not gonna go over very well, especially with this election still so fresh in everyone's minds. It's gonna take a long time and some serious thought and initiatives from the opposition in order to
I think generally too, Hashim, that each individual, each MP of the PNM, I think they themselves need to do some reflection, and seriously, after the internal elections as well, having over 100,000 persons registered to vote and only 7,000 voted.
That's not even 10% of your...
So I think there's a lot that reflection need to happen. I think too that it is right for them to say that they have lost their way, but not they alone, but I think that they're following.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And obviously they have a lot of groundwork to do to even be thinking about another general election, because it's a very unfortunate, but I mean, this is the first time, I mean, I could say for me, hearing about the politics and so forth, and seeing that the PNM is like literally, you know, they are literally on their knees
Yeah,
you know?
I think this is the first time in my living memory I've seen it too. Because you will have those who dislike them, of course, and just as they have those who dislike the UNC. But you are seeing genuine, real, vitriolic feelings for the PNM coming from the general public, because you have strayed so far, and it doesn't seem that you are even remotely trying yet to pivot back in the right direction.
And I think like they're not in a position where they're admitting.
Yes.
You know, they seem like some of them are still in denial. Let me take this one. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon. I value that picture all you're having there right now. All you're making sense on the both sides of both all you're making sense. So let me just come in here with what's going on out here on the ground.
Right.
You see, the way going on in Parliament right now, some of the people on the independent bench showing me that they're not independent. And then when you listen to the PNM talking, the PNM just getting we out here on the ground more and more vexed. Them looking to defend a man that worked for 6 weeks as a prime minister and get $1 million a year. They're standing up and supporting that. They're fighting tooth and nail with that. I have some 1%ers on the independent bench too. They're fighting tooth and nail for this person. But let me tell all you something. A public servant has to work 33 and a third year to get the full pension. You have to work at least 10 years to even qualify to get a pension. And the pension you're getting is how much months does work it out per year for your salary. But with the Prime Minister, I finding out today, I didn't even know this one existed. Hear this one now. The Prime Minister, with his salary, along with his perks, added to his salary, leaving with that as a pension. And not only that, when the other Prime Minister in office get increased in their salary, automatically he getting an increase in his salary, his pension. They see how it unfair it is. The public servant pensioner who's surviving on $3,500 a month, ain't get an increase within the past 9 years. You give old age pensioners a little increase. This is why I have a problem with how old age pensioners get the same pension as a public servant pensioner. I don't find that makes sense. The matching. But under the PNM, they let all these things fester. Leave it alone and have the population out here suffering. And the kind of thing we're coming out now, if the population or the sycophant, them bubblehead dashboard dollies and them, don't pay attention to what is going on, and there's a glutton for punishment. You could fool some people sometime, but they can't fool all the time. Let me watch and continue taking notes of what is going on in the country and where it used to go on under the PNM. Have a blessed evening, fellas.
Thank you so much for your contribution, member.
Dashboard bubblehead dollies. Oof. That's a hard job.
Let me say good afternoon again, going out to all our listeners on YouTube. Don't forget, share the live, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell the neighbor, sister, cousin, nenen, that the street council is live. Yeah. Let me take this one. Hi, good afternoon, member.
Hey, all the brothers going.
We are good.
Let me ask a question here. Before Mr. Young come Prime Minister, what was his job? Did he bring any money to the coffers of this country? Leave out a Prime Minister, I think, for 1 month. I ain't giving you that. Who was negotiating with the former Prime Minister? Did we get back billions? Yes or no?
You go ahead, member. We're listening.
So what I'm saying, this bill will bring to sort of target him. What about what he achieved before? That is not under consideration. In other words, he didn't achieve nothing before. He didn't bring no money to the coffers of this country at all in his entire tenure. What about that? Who was the man negotiating in all them big, in Houston and all them places with the Prime Minister? Not him. I want some caller to answer me. And don't just narrow it down to he being a Prime Minister for 6 weeks or whatever. Let's face it, the man contributed. And that is the sense we're supposed to see it in. I don't know nothing against the government. They in charge, they have a majority, and they could do as they like. But not as long as they like. But when you're making it look as though you're bringing it down to 6 weeks, no, that's sick. Well, have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much, member, for your contribution. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Hey, Tisha and Diane. Hashimi Dream.
Hi, afternoon, member.
Good day, guys. Good day. How you guys going?
We good.
Good for the while.
Yeah, we're
I'm
holding it
listening
down.
to the station. Pardon?
Yeah, we're holding it down. We're holding it down.
Holding it down. Okay. I listen to the station here, and I wouldn't get into the name calling or too aggressive, but I mean, some callers raising some valuable points on the topics that you would have raised. You know, average, even think of the term average citizen with experience difficulties in different forms, unemployment, the social climate, certain degrees of stress that we still have to find some way to deal with, while our politicians, our leaders, our public servants, our fellow citizens appear to make sure they organize their finances for years to come. We still have to struggle up. That how that speaks to equality. It really doesn't. So it all well and nice as I close, it all well and nice that they say, well, we realize we might have made some missteps or whatnot. I just put it lightly, but with the acknowledgement of that, what do you plan to do to rectify the missteps you would have made? Could you provide us with some feedback timeline? You know, one person, if they've been all week, if you know you would have claimed funds, illegitimately give back the funds they would have claimed, that's a nice first step. That's a nice first step. Or even what fundraising plans you have to, you know, so it all well and nice just to say the words. But once you finish say those words, persons will still be disadvantaged by your actions. So keep up the good work, fellas.
All right.
And lots of listening.
Thank you so much, member. Thank you so
and
much.
as we hope, real quick, sincerely hope that our current administration could, you know, help us as a country move to a state where some of the things we would have experienced, our generation and future generations don't have to experience those hardships. Thanks, fellas. Blessings.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for your contribution.
Members, we invite you to be a part of the conversation. Please be mindful and remember our house rules. Be respectful. Keep your contribution under 3 minutes. This house is open to everyone.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
You see what I was just talking about? But Bobblehead, that's what Dolly, you see what I'm talking about? He gone, partner, right now, the discussion is not what he do before. We're not talking about that. We're talking about work, not even occupying the office and doing anything for the country as a prime minister for 6 weeks and want to get $1 million a month. That is what we're talking about. Don't play hopscotch with this discussion. Stay on topic. Don't try that. We're not in them choppiness. Stay in your corner with your dotishness. Continue bubbling your head. Bye-bye.
Oh, my God.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All rise. The Street Council is in session. on the Street 919 FM.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
We might need to get a personal job for the council on that disclaimer.
Let me take this one. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Pleasant good afternoon, my friends.
Good afternoon.
All the going there, we are hearing all there.
One time.
One time.
Hi, good afternoon.
Short and brief, directly to the point. I think this thing should have stages. Although I am a PNM, or I did vote PNM, I don't think Mr. Anyone that was appointed in that way should get that big pension, so to speak. I think it should have stages.
Right.
Like win election, by the election way they does it. Win an election, then it goes with a certain percentage, and so on and so on. But like how we are saying he should be entitled to pension, I might want to think it's not fair to the citizens.
Yeah.
Well, locked on and listen,
right,
waiting to...
Thank you so much. One time, and you keep it locked, yeah? So...
We have space to talk. I know they come in one after the other.
Yeah, but hear this, right? So, I normally would ask our members to set the tone for the week.
Yeah.
And to literally call in and give us their concerns and so forth. And so far, a lot of persons have been calling and speaking about something I didn't really want to dive in today, but since it seems to be a hot topic.
It is heavy. It is heavy today.
And that is about our previous Prime Minister and this whole thing about his pension. I want to break it down a bit. So I want us to kind of look at, because English is something that is very easy, and it's once you understand the meaning of, the words sometimes that are being used. And one of those words I would like you to look up for me, please, Mr. Hashim.
Sure.
And to give persons the definition of is abstain. That word that they call abstaining.
Abstain in particular or abstinence?
No, abstain.
All right.
Like somebody asks you to vote on something.
Right.
And you say you abstain.
All right. So the word abstain means to deliberately choose not to do something, especially something considered tempting or habitual. More specifically, in general use, it means to refrain from something by one's own choice. For example, she decided to abstain from drinking alcohol. Or in a voting or formal settings, it means not to vote either for or against said proposal. Example.
That part there that you just said.
Right.
Read it over. Because I want to make sure that persons don't pass over anyone's head.
Right. So in voting or formal settings, abstain would mean to not vote either for or against a proposal. An example being 3 members abstained from the final vote. So in short, to abstain is to hold back voluntarily, either from action, habits, or decisions.
So let me just make sure that we get it clear for everyone to understand. Abstain doesn't mean that it doesn't mean yes or no. It doesn't mean that I was against it. It doesn't mean that I am for it. It just means that I'm in the middle.
You are deliberately not choosing.
Indecisive.
You are deliberately not choosing either side.
Right. But it doesn't mean that I choose a particular side. Correct? Good. So we're breaking it down here. We want to make sure I'm breaking it down completely.
Right.
Now, based on information that has been in the public domain, is that this bill, the pension bill, was debated in Parliament, and when it was time to vote, I think there was either 10 or 11 opposition leaders that was in Parliament on that day, and they all abstain. And the reason that they give for abstaining is that they did not agree on a part of the amendment, which means that they were going to retroactive the law. I think it's from the 10th of March, which would automatically means that Mr. Stuart Young would not be entitled because he would have been sworn in as the new Prime Minister on the 17th of March.
Right.
So they had an issue that the law or the bill was going to be retroactive. So I think that was their concern. But they did agree, or they didn't see any issues with the other amendments.
Right.
Right? Which was that Prime Minister has to be serving a certain amount of time before they was going to be entitled for the entire pension. And then they had a whole breakdown as to if it's less than a year, 2 years, etc., etc. Right?
Right.
And they were very detailed about it. And that was more or less the noise that was coming out from the opposition. That yes, we understand that there were some errors with it, and we have no issues with that. It's just this particular additional add-on there, this amendment where it's stating that it should be retroactive. They had an issue with because they say it was looking like it was just put there to attack Mr. Stuart Young. Right? Now, everyone is obviously debating the fact that he didn't serve for any lengthy period, so he's not he shouldn't be allowed to go home with such a huge pension. Okay, no problem with that. They are saying that how he became the Prime Minister, it wasn't right. Now in our eyes and how we feel about it, we could say that. But did they break a law? Because last time I checked, on I think 2 days after he was appointed the Prime Minister, he announced the election.
He did.
And because of that, we have a new administration because obviously the PNM lost. Now, if it was illegal, then should we say that the whole election was illegal? Because let's put it, this wasn't something that was illegal. Even though they found a loophole, these are what attorneys do.
Yeah.
Attorneys find loopholes for their clients.
It's like when you were wrong in a car crash and you take it all the way to court and the lawyer found some loophole to get you off of paying the man for writing off his bumper. It's basically the same thing.
Correct. So this is why I'm so confused by how persons bring this across, because don't matter what
his particular appointment.
Don't matter what he is appointed, he was appointed. They found a loophole. If you want to say they found a loophole, this was never done before. Well, a lot of things was never done before, but guess what?
It was done. It's done now,
and they wouldn't be the first, and they wouldn't be the last.
Of course,
right? So let's get over that. Let's digest that. And say, okay, we have to accept that.
We gotta swallow
happened,
that.
Right?
It's what happened.
Now
we gotta focus on the real issue here.
Now, obviously, person said that he was the, how to put it? He was a puppet. Some persons say that, right? Because they're saying it wasn't Mr. Stuart Young that called the election.
Right.
It was the persons that
were pulling the strings
behind
him.
Right? Now, let's just say, for instance, that isn't even true. Right?
Okay.
Mr. Stuart Young had a couple months before he could have ring those bells.
Very true.
And it was called. So he served approximately about 45 days as the Prime Minister.
Thereabouts.
Whether it was 2 days, 3 days, or 4 days, I think that there must be a certain level of respect for the office that he served. And he did it with all good interests at hand. He did the job. He didn't decline it. He was the Prime Minister. And you cannot rewrite history.
He will be written down
He
in
would
history
always be
as the
eighth.
Is the eighth now or the seventh? The eighth.
He would have been the eighth Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And whether you all like him, love him, dislike him, at the end of the day, he was the Prime Minister. And he may not deserve that huge pension, but I don't think people really looking at it, Hashim, in the way of put yourself in that situation.
Well, of course not.
Put yourself in that situation.
Why would they look at that situation and see themselves? They were never in the running for that in the first place, and furthermore, it's not going to benefit them to even imagine that. But the absurdity of someone is like if you work a job 33 years, right? The 33 and a third, right? And you're still working, you're still a good couple of years off for retirement, and this young hotshot come in and is making almost as much as you. That took you your entire career to build, right? You will feel that he don't deserve that based on all the hard work that you put in, right? It's more or less the same thing here.
But I am.
And listen, people's angers are well justified here, you know.
And I am glad.
And let me say before, I am very much inclined to agree that I don't believe he deserves to go home with that same amount of money.
And that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. I'm glad that they literally saw the loopholes within that pension and decided to correct it. So I congratulate the new administration for doing
correcting that.
You know, there's no issue with that. But let's not forget that, you know, this is not somebody who hijacked, or in other words, they would say, because they used to say Mr. Rowley is the new dictator, right? But at the end of the day, if it is that they did something wrong, if Mr. Rowley did something illegally, I expect that he faced the law. You know, he faced the full brunt of the law and answer to whatever criminal activity he committed, criminal offense that he committed. Let the courts be, you know,
and if they feel that is the case or not, then please
let them adventure to the courts.
Adventure it, investigate it.
Right.
Do your due diligence and make sure that it was above board or below board, and then we can have that conversation.
If Mr. Stuart Young will ever be the Prime Minister, boy, I don't know. I don't know what could happen. None of us knows exactly what could happen.
We'll never know.
I can tell you that I would not say that I am somebody who don't see the value of Mr. Stuart Young. I've heard him speak many times on issues that affected Trinidad and Tobago, and I think he has a lot to contribute, whether it be as the next Prime Minister or just generally being part of the government. I think that he would bring some sort of a level of contribution to Trinidad and Tobago. And to our members, you know, as I say, it wasn't something I really wanted to dive in, but
we're gonna get a lot of ire today. I can already.
But I want them to think. I want them to think, and I want you guys to put yourself in not in Mr. Stuart Young's position, because he's, you know, as a Prime Minister, but generally as an employer, you working for someone, and you are next in line, more or less to handle or to move up in a position. And then you never know, you know, there's so many different ways we could break this down. But this afternoon I want to walk you through a real life scenario that's playing out right now in our parliament. And it's one that might make you stop and think about fairness, politics, and how we treat our own. Now imagine this: you work for 10 or 15 years in a company. You do everything they ask of you, extra hours, multiple roles, leadership positions. You don't complain, you serve. And then just when it's your time to collect your well-earned retirement benefits, they change the rules. But not just change it. They make the change retroactive. So it wipes away your eligibility, not because you didn't serve, not because you didn't qualify before, but because someone in power wanted to send a message. And unfortunately, you're that example. That's what's happening with Minister Stuart Young. The current government recently amended the pension laws, something that in itself isn't the problem. Let's be clear. Reform is needed. Law needs to grow with the time. But here's the issue. The change was made retroactively, and because of that, Mr. Young, someone who served in both the Senate and the lower house, will now lose out on pension benefits he would have qualified for under the previous structure. Now pause and ask yourself, was this about fixing the system, or was this a targeted move to block one individual? Is it right to change laws that affect people's retirement after they really already done the work? If it were you and you give the years of public service only to have the goalposts moved backwards, how would you feel? Some are saying this wasn't about policy, it was political punishment. And the message is loud. We'll change the rules if it means taking something away from you. So this afternoon, I'd invite you guys to obviously be a part of the conversation and let us know exactly what you think. Does this feel like justice or politics? And I know the phone lines has been ringing for a while now because everybody wants to get their voice up in here.
I'm not looking forward to the wolf we about to get, eh?
Ah, boy. But, you know, it's interesting though, Hashim, you know. As I said, I personally have no issues with amending the bill.
Nor do I.
I agree. Amen. Those amendments need to be made. Now, if it is that you're really sitting on one side of the fence and you're really looking in, it somewhat looks like...
It looks like political sabotage to
let's be fair.
downplay the former prime minister's contributions to the country.
Yeah, let's be fair.
If you were looking from one side of the fence.
Yeah. You know, it's just, I mean, some would say it's just unfortunate that, you know, it's him and blah, blah, blah. But it's just how it looks, you know. And then on that particular day that they were voting on this bill, or debating this bill, they literally took down the picture of Mr. Stuart Young at the Piaco International Airport.
Really?
I'm not too sure they moved it, but from all the videos I've seen, I could
just
be wrong.
Removed it entirely.
They removed it, and they removed it, and they put up a new photo of our current prime minister. And I found it to be a bit strange.
We're not talking about in the atrium where there's a hall of the history of leaders,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
That same hall?
Yeah.
But then why would they take it down?
But you know, it's just kind of
nah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be right. That's not right.
I'm telling you that and I know persons calling because some persons have this political agenda. You know, this party alliance that because I belong to a party that, you know, I would support everything that they do. But we need to be very much fair persons, you know. We need to be very, very much fair. Because as I was explaining, you could literally be in the same position. You were next in line for a position. The position is given to you. The owner's son you and the owner's son may not have never agreed, right? But it so happened that the owner probably unwell and had to step down. The son now takes over that position. And as soon as the son comes, the son decides to change policies because he find that too much of money was given away. And so much of stuff and literally now affects you.
Just when you were about to receive
Just when
those
you were
benefits.
about to, yeah. How would you feel? And I want us to think about it, right? It's not so much about just Mr. Stuart Young. We're talking about the entirety of
policy changes in general,
right? Nobody is saying no. Yes, there should have a time frame to at least how long you serve before you get money. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with everything else. But what literally had me thinking was that why put it on that particular date? Just before he was.
But that's the thing. Why just
7 days before.
Yeah, but just like tangent. Why would they take down his frame though? That I don't understand, because whether or not it could have been 30 seconds. He was the leader of this country. That's just a part of history. There was a president called William Harris who was a president for a month before he just died in office.
Now,
he's still a part of history.
Callers, we're not going to take any calls until the next hour because we kind of have bills to pay that are coming up shortly. So I know that you guys are calling, but we're going to take the phone. We're going to take the phone calls in the next hour. Yeah.
And we had a brace for some of your buffins now. So yeah. Allow us a little.
But I'm hoping within the ads. I'm hoping within our while we pay the bills. I'm hoping that with everything that we have said, that you all just take in everything and think about it. Use some additional logic.
Think from all options, all sides.
Yeah, and let's be fair, right? If it is that you were in that position, won't you not be a little bit, indecisive as to should I really vote for this entirely, even though I do agree with something? We're going to come back with more. All right, keep it locked.
Views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the street. 919 FM.
Hi, I'm Valentine Garcia.
And I'm Nikki Garcia.
Please join us on the Final Hour broadcast every Thursday at 9 a.m. on the street 919 FM radio.
Every week we will journey into the amazing Word of God. So please join us.
See you then.
Young people of our nation, ignite your wellness journey with Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan with Princess Omega and Associates. Prevent ill health today and reap the benefit of good health tomorrow. Join us every second and fourth Saturday of each month at 9:25 a.m. to 9:55 a.m., where we bring to you innovative health solutions. Invest in yourself today by ensuring that you're enjoying optimum health. We are located at number 3, 7th Avenue North via the Eastern Main Road, Barataria. For further information, please call or WhatsApp us at 868-310-8671 or 364-4464. Remember, at Nature's Touch, your health is our priority.
Don't miss June savings at Furniture Plus. Enjoy up to 30% off appliances today. Plus, shop appliance bundle deals and get up to $1,000 in mini appliances. No cash, higher purchase plans available. Save more now at Furniture Plus.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Ikaro, I am Alatumishe Ifabamishe Aganki, better known as MC Duke. And
every Monday between the hours of 9 p.m. to midnight,
I host a show called Orisha, The Way of Life, right here on the Sheet 919 FM, where I have guests passing through from the Orisha Ifa Baptist Diaspora to educate, edify, and inform you, the listening public, about Orisha Ifa practices. So remember to tune in
every Monday between the hours of 9 p.m. to midnight
for Orisha, The Way of Life.
Tune in to The Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 to 186 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. for the program Health and Healing, merging the old with the new, with Mr. Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the street, 919 FM.
Hi there, I'm Lester Suglal, inviting you to join me on the first, second, and third Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the fourth and fifth Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John
every Tuesday from 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079, or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember,
every Tuesday from 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Keep it locked to the
Street. Not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Keep it locked to the Street 919 FM. Your #1 station for political insight and analysis.
All rise, all rise. The Street Council is now in session on the Street 919 FM. Your speakers of the House, Anderson and Hashim. Members, we invite you to be a part of the conversation. Please be mindful and remember our house rules. Be respectful. Keep your contribution under 3 minutes. This house is open to everyone.
Get interactive with us. Call now and be part of the show. Don't miss out. Dial 466-5391 or 342-0081 and join the conversation today. The Street 919 FM, where your opinion matters.
Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation.
So yes, guys, we are back at the Street Council. We are in session, and again, good afternoon going out to each and every one of you guys. All the guys are on YouTube as well. Good afternoon going out to you guys. Don't forget to share the live, share, and let everyone know that the Street Council is in session. Your speakers, Anderson and Hashim. And we invite you guys to be a part of the show today. Those numbers again, 3420081, 4665391. And remember to be respectful. And let's hear exactly what are your views on what we are discussing today. Part of our discussion is exactly what is playing off in Parliament with the previous pension bill. Alright, let me take this one first. Hi, good afternoon, member, welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If the shoe was on my foot and I was in that position, I would have no issue, no problem at all with the declining that pension. Because the thing about it, Prime Minister's pension or not, Mr. Stuart Young is entitled to a pension like all other cabinet ministers who will be receiving a pension. That is the first thing to note. Secondly, we pay these people handsomely and provide them with a number of perks, right? And thirdly, the fact of the matter is the Constitution was drafted in a way so that when somebody is elected a Prime Minister, if for some reason they cease to be a Prime Minister, it says that the leader of the party who holds the majority in the House will be sworn in by the President. Stuart Young has never been a leader of any party, and that is something that they cannot overlook. That's why I'm asking, is it that they have to insert the word political in front of party for it to make sense to some people in this nation?
Well, as they say, that's why it have loopholes. So this is why these people are sent to find loopholes to be able to
nice.
do the things.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Anderson, because Jack wanna take a dollar as the minister, right? It was easy for him to say no to the extra money. But what I'm saying is, this loophole, right? Seeing that it exists, doesn't these politicians have a heart to understand, hey, this loophole exists and has never been taken advantage of, right? But now that we see what the action of Dr. Rowley does, where we could be in a position where we very well could be having to pay a number of persons this type of pension for serving mere seconds in the post. Not because they earned the post, not because the population voted them into the post, not because the Prime Minister was sick or passed away and we needed to install a Prime Minister, but Dr. Rowley handed over this position while he was still leading the party. And the Constitution says that the leader of the party, and this is what the PNM have done with all these educated people on their team, with all the lawyers on their team, right? Whether they knew that existed and took advantage of it, or they don't know, there is no justification at this point for the arguments that they are giving. And as I say, whether they choose to backdate it for the week before, so that it is captured Stuart Young at this time, it is because it is now that the loophole has come to fruition, that they choose to do something about it and try to include the activity that was done to the nation that is harmful. I don't see the issue in understanding that, and Mr. Young himself, also, if he has some ounce of love for the country and the country first, and was in line with the narrative that him and other ministers of the PNM was given to the nation about hardship and not being able to move beyond 4% and all kind of different things as it relates to the economic standings of the nation. How can you find it feasible and fair that you are handed a position in as detrimental or that you might have received it and it have all these things to deal with now? I mean, nobody mightn't want to be in the position, but you as a man ought to be able to stand up and say, yeah, what's going on? We understand that this is an issue here because it's about process to become a Prime Minister. And Dr. Rowley abused what was in the Constitution. And the only reason, in my opinion, that the UNC didn't take it to court is because the election mightn't have called so soon and it would have prolonged this thing in the court long. But the Constitution states the leader of the party. If anybody could tell me what party Stuart Young ever lead, I would concede. But until then, he is not deserving of it. And it's not that he will not get a pension. He is entitled to a pension like every other cabinet minister who will be getting a pension. So they can miss us with the rubbish about people being disenfranchised. The only person being disenfranchised, if this isn't passed, is the people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially those who don't have no time at all when they will ever reach $1 million in their life. And may have worked all the years.
Doctor.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you, member.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Wow, wow, wow. You see all the population thinking now? No longer you could choke your finger in the eye and tell me we wouldn't get blind. No longer. That was a marvelous contribution by that member. Marvelous. That is all the population thinking now. Now, mind you, I am not no party fanatic. I am not no PNM. I am not no UNC. I am just going along with what is best for country and what we facing out here. And you see the picture you painted there before you went on the break? That is null and void. That can have no substance whatsoever. That is chalk and cheese. Because we never had an issue like this before. This issue came about now because of the injustice that the population is seeing perpetrated upon them. And this thing we only going back with date with why they bring it the 10th of March. Why if they bring it in January, what? If they bring it in last year, November, what? It don't make no sense. And then all the prime ministers coming up to that time don't reach the criteria to get the pension already. So talking about the date and if it's targeting a man, and that is irrelevant. The topic is, it is unfair for a man to act as prime minister for 6 weeks and collect the kind of pension over $1 million a year. Full stop. That's the whole issue. Nothing else but date before and backdating it and all that. No. The issue is the man not entitled to get that pension.
All right.
As the other caller rightly said, entitled of other pension, which as a minister, entitled of that. And the another point all you bring up is why they move his picture from around the prime minister at the airport. Yes, they have a right to. He only served 6 weeks. He was not no full-fledged prime minister. Full-fledged prime minister would last at least a year. He was not no full-fledged prime minister, so he not going on as no 8 or 9 or wherever prime minister. He don't hold that entitlement either. All you pay attention to how the public thinking now. Now it's not 1985 and them thing. This is 2025. Who was dotage them time? I opening now. They're not looking at the passport picture no more. They're looking at the screen. Or they don't get tired up. That is why PNM out of office now, because they feel they had grips on the ground. But they never had no grips on the ground because they're still standing up one place and expecting to reach somewhere else. Have a blessed evening.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right. Okay. All right. Well, Venom in this place, boy. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Good. Yeah, it's coming.
Venom, boy. Venom.
Back to back.
Good after that's Venom alone. That's Venom plus.
Good after lunch. That is about 3 Venom sequels in one.
Good afternoon,
Thanks
member.
for giving me the opportunity to be on the SC. Before I start, I would like to suggest for consideration that we, the contributors, that we have some kind of self-discipline where we can regulate our own selves with our language and with respect.
Thank you so much.
I think this will go a very, very, very long way. The host should not be the one to say, hey, you can't say that, you can't say that.
Well, we have a sound effect just for that.
A disclaimer.
Yeah, we have disclaimers for that.
No, I think it shouldn't reach to that, man. We should be bigger than
we
that.
We would hope. We would hope.
Over 21.
We would hope so. We would hope
Gosh,
so. But just like how the politicians throw unnecessary jabs at each other and the speaker has to call them down. We're all human.
Right, you go ahead and do that. Because, calling people name and I have a name that I describe a certain book that some people does read from. But I am not calling anybody dotish.
Right.
But the book that sometimes they quote from is a book of dotishness. But I am not saying that that they are dotish.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
We got you.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. So let me make my point now. Now, a lot of questions we should ask ourselves. One, was this illegally done, what Mr. Stuart Young was supposed to get or is supposed to get? Was it illegally done? yes or no. I'm not asking the host to answer if they don't want to. Okay? That is one. Two, you say you're going to move a law because long before you got into the front seat of the governance, you oppose that. I have no problem with that. You oppose that this is what could happen. You understand that this man could get this big pension. So it's something like if it was $5, it would have been okay. And you're not dealing with the principle. So if it's $5, it's something like it would have been okay. But boy, if it is $50,000, nah, we have to oppose that. That is one. Next, you set a date for when you want it to be retroactive too. So then could you tell us what is the reason for saying the 10th as compared to the 8th or the 18th or March or June? To me, a lot of times I see bill recall and all kind of thing, and they say with immediate effect, it's not retroactive. So I could understand people feeling like if you're targeting one man and you're not dealing with the law. The law is what you're supposed to deal with. And I try to listen to plenty people on plenty things because that will help me. You understand? Because nobody could consider, call me. In fact, they can, but they will not be correct. If they call me a killer dead. Killer dead. It has some killer dead outside it. They were in yellow and they were in red too. Killer dead. You put what you want in the front of that.
Right.
All right? So I am saying that if you, all right, not targeting somebody, then tell us how we arrive at this date. Tell us how we arrive at this date. I listened to the independent senator spoke on the issue. And I said that this man shouldn't just go to the front of the class. He should take the duster, the chalk as well. You understand? And last but not least, just how you oppose the principle of once you become prime minister, even if it's 1 day or 100 years, this is what you're entitled to. I oppose the idea that if it is 1 day, that no prime minister should get a pension for serving as prime minister for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. I oppose that. I feel that should not be. So yes, I look forward to the correction. All right? But you also oppose the law concerning the salary, what the salary review people give to the politicians and the public servants. You oppose that vehemently, even though you were very political and you were only dealing with the prime minister or the PNM, right? When there are so many others who got the same increase. Some of them, it's more than 10 years they didn't get no increase, but you wasn't dealing with that at all. And that prompted me to suggest, I hope that this government would look into this and have a separation. They should not lump the politicians and them, because basically the politicians and them are the one who will be telling you, you can't get more than 4%, you can't get more than 6%. So then if a next body now determining what the politician should get, and they come up and say, after the politician tell the people, you can't get more than 4%, but this next body now come up and say, you get 45%, then something is wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. So I look forward to seeing a separation, even if you had to just take out the politicians and them alone and leave the others there, the mayors and all these things, and leave them there, no problem. You understand? But you oppose that. But when you get in now, and you have the opportunity now to show why you oppose it and to confirm that you are not going to take, you're saying about the law and the law and the law. But the law said that Mr. Chauchon was entitled to XYZ. And you come now and you're working to change it. But you know that one, you ain't changing it. Isn't that saying something? Isn't that saying something? I want the tiller there and them to answer that for themselves before they come on the air. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Before you take...
All rise. All rise. The Street Council is in session. on the Street 919 FM.
Before you take that next call, don't the caller before from saying that he wasn't no prime minister just because it was how many days he was in office? 45 days.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it was 45 days or 45 seconds. The man was still a leader, right? You're gonna have to review that. You're gonna have to review that at 10 years or 20 years from now when you're reviewing the history of the country. Even if the history facts simply says the shortest term ever served by a prime minister, his name will be there. It is in history.
You know,
he is a former leader.
I told persons, and some of them would be in disbelief, but I've told persons already that during this election and during campaigning and so forth, and even now, it really makes me look at individuals that we associate ourselves with and communicate with. It makes me look at some of you all differently.
It really
in the aspect of the way that some of you all think. And if a woman gives birth to a child now, and unfortunately she lost that child 2 days after, or 3 days after, does that mean that she was never a mother? And that's why I say that, we're not thinking. We're not thinking.
We just say words sometimes.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Yeah, I got to my brothers.
Good afternoon.
I like the conversation. You're all making some very good points. But before I say anything, let me say this. I was sitting with a UNC member, a man who inside the UNC. I'm talking about outside a supporter. I'm talking about a man who inside. Right? You're chatting, you tell me? You see, Stuart Young? It's not nobody in UNC as bright as Stuart Young. It's not nobody in UNC could negotiate for a country like Stuart Young. He said he wants an asset towards the country. And I really checked back and think you were super on the front border and he fell bright, right? So the value of a man is not what he is about to receive. It's what he did. And I mean, for the last 10 years or 9 years or whatever, he was out there negotiating for the country and, the country was balancing. But, at the end of the day, I listen to everybody talking about that law with the passport, the minister and the prime minister. Nobody is talking about what the young people, we, the poor people, the laws are passing on we every day. They're talking about that, but the song is strong. You understand? Talking about this. We have to get serious. First we let the prime minister take so and so amount percentage for himself when we out here we were just about to get next to nothing. The come now and the prime minister have to get every year a pension. We never say nothing. People in parliament as I say sustain. You understand what I mean? Not sustain. They went on the fence because they want it and they don't want it. They want it and they don't want it. But them now coming today and taking against it. Why did they stand up and make sure it ain't happen? These are opposition. The opposition is for the people, The government is for the country, how to make sure. But the opposition is just stand up for the people, And then people don't understand. You understand?
Yeah.
Them was in parliament when that went on. Them supposed to make sure, but they jump on the fence. So that means they wanted it. So that more they don't want it. They didn't make up their mind. So they're coming now to put pressure on the fella. What is about to receive? If you receive, if Mr. Lowry did die, what will I say now? This is very complicated. If the prime minister die, what will I say now?
Let me respond to that quickly for you. Now, God forbid that he had died. I believe that they would have been deputy. They would have had deputy political leader. So I believe that automatically they would have probably taken that position.
Mantle, yeah.
All right. was he swaying as the Prime Minister or the former Prime Minister he controlling the party, he controls the Prime Minister now? Was he swaying, the swaying as the Prime Minister, put his hand on his Bible and the swaying as the Prime Minister? If he do that, he is the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, after he should come out and start arguing, and now he come out and start arguing for the poor people. My friend have a good day.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you very much. Whether it was by traditional means or not, he was a prime minister.
And as I say too,
you all can't take that away from him.
There are if we want to put it as a loophole, okay, there was a loophole, and
if you don't like the loophole, okay, then appeal to your leaders to fix it. But the point is, it was nothing criminal about it.
Correct. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Good afternoon to the Street Council, Dr. Anderson. Good afternoon, Dr. Green. Good afternoon, Trinidad.
Good afternoon, President.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Right, and good afternoon, God. Well, we ain't have much in the program again, but I still asking that Papa God, you keep the program going nice. As it going, I ain't no quarreling, except everybody putting in the rights of argument. So keep it going, so Papa God. Close as that. Now, as the representative of the Liberal Independent Brotherhood, which is the whole nation of the organization that is to be, I want to say first to begin that I want to go straight to the first part of this whole bacchanal. So I want to ask a little question this evening. Anybody who could have me that answer. When was the date that the SRC announced the changes for the whole executives of government? When was that date? Now we know the 10th, we know about the 14th. When was the day of the SRC putting that changes or legislation or act on the table? When did we get that? First to begin, that is my question. Whether it was before or after, I want to know. Because if it was before, then the Prime Minister and them had known, because they know all the laws. So they would have known exactly what going to happen. Nobody in comment on me, not me. So that if they knew, I want to first state that, and I state in it, that a crime and a corruption went on. Secondly, we in Trinidad and Tobago was looking out for a one man, one vote. We was also looking out for a convention. I was waiting for the September in that year. It never happened. I get cut short as the representative of, and I was bowling real balls. I got cut short, and it ended up quite up in the early part of the year. Okay. But you went to Tobago, and you come up, what it was, a 9/11, but not, Trinidad didn't like that. Oh, so you turn it down, and you come back to Trinidad now, and you make up a Greek, and you decide, you say, well, okay, it's good now. We still didn't like that. So tell me which party come up Prime Minister up to now. Now you come along all the corner, and all right, we say the election going and come across, we still see where he will come out in his constituency. So since that he still is a representative to me. Now, the thing happened at the election call. But hear what I'm saying? We, the majority of Trinidad, that is why they are out of power. Aside from what they may do from the gas deal down the road to the gas deal by Maduro, by whatever this, you see that betrayal that we got, not having the one man, one vote and the convention, that is a betrayal. I want to know if the SRC program happened before Dr. Rowley decided to give up the post. If it's so, then they knew
So there was a plot and a crime and a corruption went on. So I don't want to know. I am the public. I put you in. You're not going to rule me the way you feel you want to rule me. I put you there. And I tell you what I wanted, what I still think I want, and what I feel that you should do now, because it's I will put you there. And I tell you that, bacchanal with that money, it must not stand. I don't mind that retroactive thing. All right, so is it then? Okay, I don't have a problem with it, because it has to be blocked. And I tell you now, this retroactive, that only saying that the PNM want to hold up and paying the abstaining is a prolonging attitude. To prolong that thing to see what's going to happen or how they could make that change so that thing could get money. PNM, they was wrong in the first place. All this submit to the dotishness. And that is why they're out of power. So start from when the SLC level the thing, come down to where you're doing Tobago, come down to where you're doing right now, Tobago, because nobody didn't even like the Tobago vote. Well, you better have some common sense for me, because I see in a labor revolution in Trinidad and Tobago. All labor going to revolute on this, because I know all labor ain't going to take this. All labor going to revolt, because they're not going to take this. They don't care what nobody says. That is what I see. Thank you for now. If this can be repealed, and it, well, let be amended properly. Otherwise, this is time for the public to act. No! Thank you.
All right, thanks so much for your contribution, member. So just a simple search. I think the Service Commission, they normally would have to give in their report by September 30th of each year, and it is normally laid in Parliament by the end of November of each year. Yeah. All right. So moving swiftly along. A lot of us need to put ourselves in those shoes, you know, and stop looking at it as just, I don't support this party, I don't like this individual, so I'm not going to support something like this. And as one of the callers said earlier on too, if it was just $5, was the conversation going to be like this?
Of course not. If I feel like if the public did not know what the figure for the pension was, it would just be okay, he's still getting pension? Alright. But because we know, that's like 2 commas, I think. 2 commas.
And again, the issue is not about, well, at least for a lot of persons, the issue isn't about who it is and how much he's entitled to, you know. They already got put in they amended and said that we have to be serving a particular amount of time
to be eligible for that.
Yeah, and they had a breakdown. No issue with that. And let me say it again. There is no issue with the breakdown.
None.
The issue that a lot of persons and the oppositions seem to have had, which is why they abstained from voting, is that they wanted to retroactive this particular amendment to March 10th, just before Mr. Stuart Young took office. And this is what they had a disagreement about.
Yeah. Because well, let me not say that. Let me not say that.
Boy, oh boy. We have some kind of memory. I think some people need to put a flash drive and start to, because trust me, it's going to come back to this, you know.
It will.
It's going to come back to this, and people will tend to forget once again.
Of course it will.
But we
I wanted to say what I wanted to say, but I think I think I will leave it.
We'll wait to see.
Because
Hi. Go ahead.
No, because it was former Prime Minister Young who decided to call elections straight away. Right? This would have affected him whether or not he called it later down in the year or right now. So I don't know.
Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Now, my question is, right, what did we or why do we elect a government to take care of the purse of the nation and for its people, right? And we put these people in charge to bring relevant legislations to enhance our lives and the lives of our citizens and our children in the future. Now, my question is, if we elect a government to take care of our lives and our citizens, they overwhelmingly got a mandate to go forward because the people did not like what was going on in the country. And this government bring legislation that needs to be put in place. Everybody agrees that the legislation needs to be put in place.
Correct.
Because we find it is unfair. This is why we want the legislation in place. It is unfair for anybody to sit in the Prime Minister seat for one day and get a pension. This is why we want this legislation, because it's unfair. The legislation in itself, as written right now, is very good. 1 year, 2 years, they get a certain percentage. 3 years, 4 years, they get a certain percentage. For 5 years, they get all the money that is allotted, right? And in order, and the one thing that the people is upset is because it's retroactive. But the reason why it is retroactive because the government, through the people, says that it is unfair for this person to receive this pension because they haven't sit as Prime Minister. Number one, the reason why he was given the Prime Minister leadership was questionable from the first run. There was a whole uproar.
All right, now, caller, I don't mean to rush here, but I need you to get to your point as fast as possible because we want to see how much phone calls we could take.
So what I'm saying is that the government working on the voice of the people, and the people saying that it's unfair for this person to receive this pension, and therefore we put proper legislation. And we go in by what the people say and retroactive because this position of this person is wrong. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. So clearly, he's saying that they made it retroactive, just as what a lot of persons literally are saying.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to make sure that that Mr. Stuart Young be punished.
For being chosen by Dr. Rowley to lead.
Yeah. He wasn't really the chosen one in the eyes of
in the traditional sense.
In the traditional sense. Yeah. So he should be punished. Right? But let me ask something, and before I take this other call.
Right.
Since we got retroactive this.
All right.
Why we don't retroactive the tax? Why we don't retroactive the tax? From before it even started and give back every citizen back their money.
Okay.
Why we don't do that?
Okay.
Laws normally would be amended moving forward to correct things that would have happened previously.
Right.
Right? If it is that we so want to be fair, then for all the persons that went ahead and followed the law, if it is that this has been repealed now, right? The tax, the TTR, is TTRA, however.
Yeah.
Right? Why it is that we don't retroactive that too? Huh?
Why not?
I would love to know why. Hi, good afternoon, member.
Not the TTRA, the property tax. You now start to talk in the language of our concerned citizens. This is what we have to bring forward to the government. Just like how you could activate the law in a retroactive way for that, you should be able to do it for every other citizen. But I believe
hold on,
on the topic of this...
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. Let me get that.
To the front. And bring a piece of chalk.
Right.
But Chris, before you continue, right?
Yes.
Not only that, I think too that since we could retroactive and make sure that Mr. Stuart Young doesn't get this money, right? The same way, because let me tell you something, all of them get this increase now.
Yeah.
We should retroactive, because this is not the time for none of them to be able to get an increase, because I remember our honorable Prime Minister at present, who was in opposition, said that this wasn't the time. So
correct.
I think they should retroactive each and every one of them.
Yeah.
Well, the solutions are very simple, you know. Very, very simple. Even if they don't want to do it, now is the time for them to separate the politicians from everybody else who falls under that SRC recommendation that came out. So allow the people and them to get the ridiculous race, but not the politicians and them who would have been standing on the platform and giving a narrative of why persons cannot get more than what the government was offering through the CPO at that time. But two things I want to highlight, right? When Dr. Rowley would have handed over that leadership of the government, he should have handed over also the pension that he is getting now to Stuart. So we would have one person pension to deal with, right? Because Dr. Rowley was not unfit for office or he didn't pass away. So when you're giving it up, you should have given up all that. So we'd have no problem. We'd have just be paying one person that pension, right? And if it is Stuart would have passed through the normal process of becoming a prime minister in this country,
right?
It would not have mattered to us if he served 5 minutes according to Colin Booth, because he would have passed through the proper process. And if you choose 5 minutes after you win to call elections and you lost afterwards, then no problem. We would have paid you 87,000 per month for the rest of your life. But you didn't go through the proper process. And the thing is, I don't know how much clearer it needs to be, but when the Constitution says that the leader of a party, what does that really mean? The leader of a party. Does it mean that the leader of the party will hand up the leadership, sit in the background, and move around the pieces as he sees fit, right? And then put up somebody? I'm trying to understand, what does leader of a party really mean to us? And the next, last but not least, is it that the now government has to abuse this loophole, right, for us to really see what is taking place with these highly educated people? Is it that every 2 weeks, Ms. Prasad Bissessa can say, all right, I go look back and lead the party, but you take our place. And after 2 weeks, you resign and we go to this
I get that. And that's why they had to fix the loophole. Because if they didn't fix it, then next 2 weeks she could give somebody and that person could be aligned for pension too, and then
and if it is TNM is unwilling to take one for the team by way of denying Mr. Imbert this thing here, because he said he don't need it, he didn't come into politics for that. You properly well financially off. And the thing about it is, we pay our politicians properly, and we provide all with multiple perks to enjoy throughout all their tenure. And as I said, the guy is still entitled of a pension, whether he gets through with his prime ministerial pension or not.
Correct.
What we are saying is the process was abused because Dr. Rowley had all the opportunity to call an internal election and let the leader of the PNM party be elected as the appointed prime minister when he chose to step down. You can't continue leading the party from the back and making all the moves, deciding X, Y, and Z. That is why everything crashed, just like the 9/11 event in America.
All right, Chris, I mean to rush you though. I want to see if we could take some more calls as well, right?
Yeah, brother.
All right, thanks so much for your contribution.
Before you answer that one, I do want to say, he is implying that if the process had been done in the traditional sense, that a lot of people would not have had a problem with his current pension situation.
Right.
And that I say, I'm pretty sure there would still be people crying and griping that he was only in office for 45 days, even if the process went through properly.
It would still
be an issue. How he gained all that money. It's just like the new person gain as much pay as you've been there for 10 years. They'll still have a problem with it. So
damn if you do.
Damn if you don't.
Hi, good afternoon. Echoes and horrors. Good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, DJ Anderson? What's up, Dream?
We good.
How was the weekend? Was good?
Yeah, I can't complain.
It was wet. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, then, you can tell which one well party, yeah?
How you mean?
And you could tell, you could always tell by the person who reached late as well on Monday.
Wow.
Right?
Right.
Recovering.
Right.
Well, gentlemen. You see how easy we play with taxpayers' money? And you know who don't really give back the taxpayers' money? The taxpayers themselves, the citizens.
Yeah.
You know, if you had to get a $20,000 grant, the amount of loophole you had to go through to get that $20,000 grant to fix your house, and that taxpayers' money. In 2025, we had 2 prime ministers of Trinidad and Tobago, and we have a third one now because the election going on. We have a third in 2025. You think that makes sense?
Pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, Mr. Rowley gained his pension, and they want to give Stuart Tuggan. So PNM had 2 prime ministers in 1 year. There was a process to go through. You were handed the prime ministership. You lose election, but the clauses and the loopholes and all that, you want to get a pension. But it's taxpayers' money. You see, what we have to understand, everyone in Trinidad and Tobago, they need something. But the politicians gain tax exempt, food card, money. They don't have to pay for nothing. They just go in the gas station, fill up. They go in the grocery, get the stuff. They have cooks, they have protection, they have everything. They don't have to pay that. That is taxpayers paying for all that because they are ministers. And then you want to get a big pension after serving less than a month to a month. Now they say he's a negotiator. But who collapsed the sea bridge in Tobago? That is why they get voted out. The NGC, who spent $200 or $300 million on NGC, and all the management want indemnity. You don't see that is right? Watch the energy sector in Trinidad and Tobago. How many places close? And they talk about negotiator. You guys, all of we are adults, all of we went to school, all of we have education. What negotiation took place in the past 10 years that give us foreign direct investment? You talk about the war in Ukraine and Russia when we get the windfall? That had nothing to do with Trinidad government. It could have been anybody in government. That was just the market throughout the war. So, sit down and ask yourself what foreign direct investment we get in this country for the past 10 years, and they say they're the greatest negotiator. Listen, we're not paying them all this money in Trinidad, politicians, prime ministers, whoever, to sit down and just to collect it and get tax exempt. We give them that because we put them there and we want results. What results we have right now? Where's the debt to GDP in Trinidad? This is what we had to ask ourselves. How long, how much generations will go forward have to pay out this debts of Trinidad? What will be the cost of food? What will be the cost of our vehicle? Because let me tell you something. If the money don't devalue now, eventually you cannot pay out the debts because we have the resources is low. the money will devaluate maybe 5 years from now, maybe 3 years from now. And this is where we're not understanding. Mr. Stuart Young supposed to be. I know I'm going nowhere. Mr.
I know when I tell you my phone line's ringing like a Christmas tree here, so we're trying to see how much phone calls we could take.
Yeah, so I just want to say this last thing. Mr. Stuart Young supposed to say, listen, I don't want that pension. Let me earn it. All right, guys, work on this.
All right, thank you so much, Echoes. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome. I know you have been holding for
Yes, I agree with that caller. If Stuart Young had any sort of patriotism, he could have really say, when you see that pension, I don't want that pension, I'll let him keep that, because you accuse yourself 100 and something times from Parliament, so you really don't need it in truth. And yes, the Prime Minister and the members of the Cabinet supposed to take the increase. You know why? If PNM could enjoy it, why them can't enjoy it too? They was talking against it all when there was opposition. So the caller who talked about they didn't oppose it, yes, they opposed. But if it pass and the PNM group gets in their own, why them shouldn't get them own? Why? No. That's wrong. Let them go ahead and go forward. They're working. They're doing more work than the PNM right now, so let them go forward. Now, God, I hear all this short for time, so I'll go on with that one.
Thank you so much. Now, this was only passed like this year, though.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have been getting this increase for a very long time. So there's still enough time for them to shut it down, to repeal.
The question is, will they?
Retroactive. It has enough time. Hi, good afternoon.
I need the property tax retroactive first. I'm just saying.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, member, are you there?
Yeah, I did.
Right.
All right. So here we go on here. Now, we had how much Prime Minister or how much acting Prime Minister we have? Well, as much as the amount of acting Prime Minister, if they want to go down a bit, because I sure it has to have a convention and a one vote to get me to say, well, we have an actor. Otherwise, that means there to be no Prime Minister at all. If you want to give somebody a money, I think Colin too much act like Prime Minister for plenty time. And it may have others, I think. Also, give him money now. Or they want to give money. Give him money till he was Prime Minister. I'm sure he was Prime Minister when Dr. Rowley went away and all kind of bacchanal. I'm sure. You give him money too now. You see, all the children they did. All be careful what you're doing, because a rule is a rule. 5 years ago, I think it was, you say one man, one vote. I stand up with that, so I was expecting that. I didn't get it. And if I didn't get it, then it didn't have no election. You see, all you could talk and grumble how much you want. The amount of money all that I'm getting from the SRC, okay, I find it too much. It could have half done also. But all right, I can't, if I can't oppose the SRC, I can't oppose the SRC. But I want to know why it is that I must satisfy that somebody who wasn't nominated and elected into the Prime Minister's seat as the way how the Trinidadian and North and God know the Constitution as it's supposed to be done. Why must I have him to be Prime Minister? It didn't reach the day when I voted and he didn't win when I do vote. But when I do vote, he lost. Wrong with we. Pick up with the sense and on. It is not definitely that we fighting, you know. The wrong thing is the wrong thing. It started wrong from the day that Dr. Rowley decided to give up on Hanover. We don't want no Hanover thing. Let the party PNM, as I knew it always was, they elect who they want, nominate who they want, and then they set up in the party, they say that is the party man.
So now we looking to go give me that loss at the party and you want to win, okay?
All right, President. We President, we have some bills to pay within the hour. Yeah? But
All
thanks
right,
so much
okay.
for your contribution here. Oh, Lord. So coming up, we have some bills that need to be paid. So we're going to pay those bills, and then after we're going to come back within our segment. What is not a crime but should be considered a crime? But we're gonna take the, what do you call it?
The what?
What we just doing in the last hour now? Based on this conversation, we just still drag it along within the next hour.
Yeah, let's take it light.
Yeah.
No,
there's a word you just used there,
Me specifically. Okay. All right. We're taking the residual calls that we didn't get.
Right.
In this hour.
Mm-hmm.
In this hour. Although engine room seems to be working, so I can't see the time. I don't know how much. Well, there it is. There it is.
So we're gonna pay those bills, and then after we're gonna come back with more. All right, you guys keep it locked, and you guys will continue your phone calls in the next hour. Yeah.
This is the voice of Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist. We are preaching Emergency Alert broadcast, which is from the Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist Church. We will be featuring voices of brethren from different parts of the world, preaching the gospel, preaching prophecy as it relates to current events and the ending of the world. Listen to us on 91.9 FM every Sunday from 9:05 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Sundays. May God bless you as you learn the truth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Planning your Tobago getaway? Choose the highest Google-rated car rental company on the island, O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago. Located just minutes from the A&R Robinson International Airport, at O'Neill, we pride ourselves on being the most tech-savvy car rental company in Tobago. Our process is 100% digital. No paperwork, no long lines. From easy pickup to seamless returns, renting a car in Tobago has never been simpler. WhatsApp us now at 1-868-361-1042 to book your vehicle. Don't forget to mention promo code Radio2 to receive a 5% discount on your rental. Send a WhatsApp message to 1-868-361-1042 today. That's 1-868.
Keep it locked to the Street 919 FM, your number one station for political insight and analysis.
All rise, all rise. The Street Council is now in session on the Street 919 FM. Your speakers of the House, Anderson and Hashim. Members, we invite you to be a part of the conversation. Please be mindful and remember our house rules. Be respectful. Keep your contribution under 3 minutes. This house is open to everyone.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So
all rise. All rise. The Street Council is in session on the Street 919 FM.
Are you searching for answers to life's questions? Those things that disturb and concern you the most? Why all the wickedness? Why the suffering in the world? Will it end? Who is responsible? Well, if so, join us right here on The Street 91.9 FM every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. with Brother Samuel Gooding and Roland White, where we open the Bible and find answers to all these things and more. For it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Every child is created for excellence. Release the natural intelligence from every child with the IBG educational products. Just listen to these testimonies.
He wanted to read to show me what he can read in one day time. We get through the program and she made real good marks. And she's singing the song. She liked the song too bad.
And they were really excited. It's success in no time for them.
With the IBG educational products, we guarantee instant learning to all.
This is about the best thing I've seen. Extremely well.
At IBG, we project the young minds of today to be leaders tomorrow. Just call us at 330-1384 or WhatsApp us at the same number, 330-1384. Delivery at your door. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Start working from at home with the IBG educational products and send them out to school as champions.
Are you tired of scratching the surface? Do you want to understand the real forces shaping Trinidad and Tobago? From the delicate dance of our energy sector on the global stage, to the geopolitical shadows behind the crime affecting our streets, we dig deeper. The third umpire goes beyond the headlines. We connect the dots between local challenges and the international currents that truly impact your life, your wallet, your security. Join Stephen Matheson, Selvin Mitchell, and Ronaldo Rollux, 3 employment law and human resource management consulting professionals, as they unpack the complexities, analyze the power plays, and reveal the often hidden realities. Understand the game. Understand your role in it. The third umpire, critically analyzing Trinidad and Tobago's economic and political realities on how they affect your daily lives. Tune in Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. on the Street 919 FM. Don't just listen to the news. Understand it.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Don't miss June savings at Furniture Plus. Enjoy up to 30% off appliances today. Plus, shop appliance bundle deals and get up to $1,000 in mini appliances. No cash, higher purchase plans available. Save more now at Furniture Plus.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Joining the Street 919 FM family for the first time? We're so glad to have you. Call us at 466-5391 and tell us where you're calling from. Let's connect with our community. On the Street 919 FM, the #1 election station.
All rise. The Street Council is in session on the Street 919 FM.
Members, we invite you to be a part of the conversation. Please be mindful and remember our house rules. Be respectful. Keep your contribution under 3 minutes. This house is open to everyone.
So right then, immediately, hi, good afternoon, member, welcome.
Yeah, my brothers, I go there again. Now, God says something in the early very no create man. And I call her, after a few callers ago, that he said something, that was the last thing he said. And this is the thing that is holding us back from going forward. You see, words are so important, my friend. Now, if we have people on your side who agree with you, like, backing the same thing, right? And you say something, and you say the wrong thing, you know, then go them, we stand for the wrong thing too. In a sense that you say something that's destructive then. You know, them stand up for that, them want to see destruction. No. God said, don't eat. It's about tree in the middle of the garden. Don't eat from that tree, tell you knowledge of good and bad. The caller, come and say, if PNM could get it, why UNC can't get it? You understand? You know, it's simpler, but these are the things that go real deep. If PNM could get it, why UNC can't get it? And these are the things sign up against. You understand? Now we arguing that PNM shouldn't get it, and at the end of the day, we tolerating, you know what we're doing? We tolerating pain. We tolerating corruption. We tolerating oppression that we're doing. But I will tell you something. We owe the future, and I will let the better all these systems that are very serious. We owe the future, and if we don't pay the future, in the future, just we want destruction, corruption, and oppression, it will be worse. We owe the future, all get serious, let me come together. And get rid of all of them, these group of people, these politicians. How we done? Suppress them, how we done? We owe the future. All of just everybody, all again. We owe the future. All right? All the PM to get, why you want to get? Call it, come on, man. All not here. Keeping we back there. My friend, you all have a go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. caller had a valuable point there, valuable point. You know, we saying that how it's good for one.
It must be good for the next.
But it must be good for the other because the other person already started to get it. Papa. Hi, good afternoon, member. Welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and to your entire host and audience. I've been calling since the start of the program.
Oh yeah,
this is a wonderful program.
Yeah, the phone lines have been.
So let me get to the points now. I agree with the PNM for abstaining. They should have voted for the bill anyway. I'm a life member of the PNM since 2012, but I could not agree with what was done because let me give you some facts, gentlemen. One, we have a 5-year electoral parliamentary term. If a member cannot function after the 4th year or dies, like what happens with in the fire, they cannot call a by-election. So, hello?
Go ahead.
We hear you.
Yeah, so just based on that, I believe it was immoral for the Prime Minister to step down just a few months before the close of the term. That is number one. Secondly, the Constitution states that the leader of the party with the majority. Now, let me be very clear. When they say leader, the leader in the Constitution begins with a capital L. And let me tell you why that is so. Because you actually have two leaders in there. In the government side, you have the leader in the parliament is called the leader of government business. That is common L leader. And in the opposition, the leader on that side is called the chief whip. So they try to make games with this thing called leader. Let me tell you, remember Dr. Eric Williams? Now, listen to the kind of thing that happens in our party. If you're the leader and you go to the polls and the members and your party wins and the other elected members are not in favor of you and they wanted to cut your throat, all they have to do is write a document and saying that we choose so-and-so to be the first amongst us. Dr. Eric Williams changed that when the 1976 Constitution. Previously, the leader, the person who commanded the support of the majority, that was simply it. But that was changed to the leader of the party with the majority. Okay, and the leader of the party with the majority is the political leader. And Dr. Rowley knows that well enough, and I'm sure the president knows too. What was supposed to happen? He was supposed to have stepped aside as prime minister, allow the party to have its convention, and the person chosen as political leader would replace him. But he didn't do that. He stepped down as prime minister and remained as political leader, which is what wasn't supposed to happen. He should have leave first as political leader, remain as prime minister, in fact, and when the party decides who would be the political leader afterwards, that person could now come in. Because the Constitution 76(1) states this. Part 1 is this. A, you must be a member of the House of Representatives, meaning the lower house. Not the entire parliament, because the entire parliament is the Senate and the lower house together. So we're talking about the lower house, the House of Representatives. Okay? You must be an elected member. Stuart Young was an elected member. But the second part states that he must also be the leader of the party that has the majority in the parliament. And that he was not. And if that didn't hold, there is a B part that says this. Where there is no undisputed leader, and let me say this again, where there is no undisputed leader,